Hi there.
Hello.
Today, I think we should discuss a little bit about aliens and how they will feel if they're here and what should be their perspective.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, you want to take an alien perspective?
Yeah. If I am an alien,
Mm-hmm.
first we should define what an alien is, right? So an alien is traditionally something that has come from a different planet and is now on this earth.
Yep.
They are likely a lot more advanced because they have figured out how to efficiently and effectively travel to different planets.
Yep.
So that means that they are very advanced. That means that they have figured out how to allocate time and resources properly, which would allow them to even get to that advanced state of technology, right? So they have probably figured out things like poverty. They have figured out things like starvation, how to allocate food, resources, how to distribute them effectively. They are very, very smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, whatever you said in the end, right? Like they're very, very smart. If we are that smart, we would have been checking out other aliens too.
Yeah. We would
Right?
have been visiting,
Yeah.
vacationing in other planets.
Yes, exactly. And let's look at from their point of view. How will humans make them feel like? What do they think about humans? If you are not very smart, and if there is another species that is more smarter than you, what would you become to that species?
Well, it's kind of like how we treat pets, right?
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of the animals around us, unfortunately, as less intelligent in the way that we perceive intelligence. Intelligence can be so many different things, right? But
Mhm.
the way that we see intelligence or have defined intelligence, according to that definition, animals around us are not as intelligent, which then makes us use them for certain things like pets or us keeping them for our own pleasure, which is interesting and scary.
Let's take that perspective. So, first and foremost, we are not pets to aliens because they are not having us in their homes or tied up in
Not
their
yet.
not yet, right? So we are an animal to them.
Like a wild animal.
Yeah, because we are not domesticated yet by them, right?
Right. Yes.
So we should be a wild animal for them.
Yes.
And what kind of wild animal are we? Because we don't treat wild animals well either.
Yeah.
Why should they treat us well? Aliens. They don't have any reason to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's levels to how we treat different wild animals too, right? Like if we perceive any kind of intelligence in that wild animal, then we are more likely to treat them with more respect. If we see a certain type of threat from them, then we're likely to treat them with more respect. So, for example, lions, tigers, we can be eaten by those wild animals. So, there is a bit of danger that we sense. So, because of that, we give them their distance, we give them their respect that they rightfully deserve. So, within wild animals, there's also different levels.
Yeah. So, let's take an alien dharana, or let's call it alien Ishvara, the third person perspective from alien. If you are an alien and if you're thinking about humans, as you rightfully said, right, they will be looking at humans as some animals, and maybe not every human is same for them. They're so smart. They treat everyone as they deserve. Just like we treat the animals or pets the way they deserve, they should be treating us the same way. Now, let's say if aliens behave just like humans in nature, what would such world look like?
Yeah, I think if they behave like humans, one of the first things that comes to mind is greed and power and ego. So these three things, if aliens also have these characteristics, then they would likely want to exploit resources for whatever kind of money system that they have in their own planet.
Yeah.
Which would be not very good for us because they are smarter than us. So they would likely be able to exploit us at a much more efficient way.
Yeah, if they want to.
If they want to.
Yeah, but I don't think they will. But to your point, right? Like if they show a lot of greed and a lot of bad characteristics.
Yes.
And if they're looking to exploit resources, then we will be treated like just like the way we are treating the animals.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be farmed. If they like milk, human milk, we're screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they use as meat, then people that come to age will be shot in the head. taken to meat farms.
Yeah. But the really interesting thing is that these characteristics of humans, they are exactly what, well, some of what limits us from achieving that level of smartness and efficiency, right? So it's very logical to assume that aliens have figured out how to deal with these characteristics of greed, ego, whatever, in order to get to that level of efficiency. Because you need to be able to get past these things in order to achieve the level of technology that they have.
Yeah, it's not just aliens. Actually, humans have done it too in the past. If you see many civilizations, Harappan civilization and all those civilizations, the main thing that is advocated is ahimsa parmo dharmaha. That means not causing any harm is the biggest level of dharma, right thing to do. Unless you cultivate that, like the way you treat the animals and the people around you, you cannot expect the same thing for you as well in this life or next life. If aliens are here, they're very smart. And if they say everyone who is treating the animals the bad way and others the bad way, they will be treated the bad way. And people who are doing the right thing will be treated the right way. If that is the way of alien, then you can see a mass cleansing happening across the world where majority of the people will be suffering for the things that they have done. And let's look at it from a history point of view, as in a different perspective. Let's say 10,000 years from now, or 20,000 years from now, when aliens are writing their own history books, they will be like, aliens came on Earth and they cleansed the Earth. They killed all the evil people that are mistreating the animals and everyone in the way they deserve. And they treated all the good people who are doing the good things in the right way. If we look at from that point of view, what we are doing today is not very aspirational. And let's say if aliens established a heaven on earth and a hell on earth, then the hell will be punishing all the people that have done the bad things, wrong things, and the heaven will be rewarding all the people who has done the right things. So you can look at it from this point of view too. It doesn't have to be aliens doing this. We can realize that without them and follow ourselves.
So we should be we should be taking this as a sign to move in the right direction. Because with or without aliens, we should be trying to build a heaven on earth. And it shouldn't take aliens to come and cleanse. Although that would bring about heaven on earth, right? Cleansing, getting rid of the bad. What if we can fix it ourselves? You know how
Yeah.
there's like in the cells, right? There's that if a bad cell comes, it can duplicate, causing cancer. In this scenario, it's like the aliens coming and removing the bad is the surgeon coming and removing the tumor. But what if instead of having to remove the tumor, killing those cells, you can transform those cells and we can all create heaven on earth without having to go to surgery? I think what's interesting about this whole alien phenomena right now that everybody's thinking about is it's very easy to think about the negatives where, oh, aliens will do this to us and aliens will do that to us. But it's also beautiful to think about the positives and what they could be trying to teach us and how we can learn from them, how we can learn from their perspective to better this earth.
Yep. And there is a lot that can be uncovered because, humans feel that they're highly intelligent when we compare ourselves to other animal species. But the level of intellect one can attain is way superior in terms of what the universe has to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the limiting thing is our imagination. Our imagination needs to grow. We need to stop limiting the way that we think and stop telling ourselves that we are the highest form of intelligence, because there's so much out there. And as soon as we unlock that there is more intelligence out there, that also means that we are giving ourselves the opportunity to grow into that intelligence. By telling ourselves that there is no higher intelligence, that is limiting us from even attempting to grow and be more intelligent.
Completely agree. Yeah. So every time we detach ourselves from a perspective or from anything for that matter, our level of intellect grows significantly and our perspectives grow also significantly. So whatever we mentioned so far when it comes to alien, right? This is exactly how God would behave too. God exists in everyone. If you're saying God is a higher perspective than humans, then alien has to be God.
Yeah, that is very interesting, because if you think about the way that pets see humans, it is kind of like they're seeing humans as a more divine form, because they will do anything that their pet owner, whatever they want, essentially.
Because pets clearly know that we are a very capable being and we can take care of them in the ways that they like it too. Same way humans like God for what he has to offer in the exact same way.
I recently got a cat at home, and I think about this all the time. I'm like, when is this cat going to be self-realized? And I'm so excited for when that happens, because I feel like we would be best friends when he finally is conscious.
Everything is self realized, as in, like, every animal for that matter goes through their own path of realization. A fish can meditate too, so is a snake. A bear can do that. It goes into hibernation. It's the deepest level of meditation. And every sleep cycle for every animal connects one with their higher self. The realization, as in, like, connecting, is happening all the time. We are ignorant to realize that. And you remember that we did a podcast on the cell and science. Our body is made up of multiple cells. Each cell has its own life. If you look at human, then there's no such thing you can call this is mine, because it has a different life of its own.
Yeah.
And within cell, you have different organs within the cell, and they have a different function, and those will be replenished with the molecules. The life cycle of those molecules, the molecular life cycle is around in milliseconds or nanoseconds. Cellular life cycle is probably anywhere from days to years. Human life cycle is multiple years. Same way, if you scale up this model, if there is a higher self, their life cycle would be way bigger than human life cycle. And this is the exact depiction that you see in Vedic philosophies too. When you look at the day of Brahma, the creator himself, it's way bigger than the day of human.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you see Vishnu, it's even more bigger. That means there is a higher self of you above there. And that is your true self, is what all those philosophies are trying to tell us as well.
Yeah.
And realizing that will help us receive respect from aliens too. And to your other point, when it comes to the followers, you're absolutely right. We are in a model of, like, father son, as in one who leads the way, one who follows. Also, you can consider this as shepherd and the sheep. Jesus is known as shepherd because he shows the way. He understands everything from inside out, whereas he see everyone running around based on their impressions from the past, and he can show a better way. That's why he's known as shepherd.
Yeah. So aliens could take on that role.
Generally, the best thing for them to do is not to intervene with human matters in a direct fashion. Is it right thing for you to go and intervene in some lion eating its meal?
No.
It's,
No.
no.
Yeah.
And if lion has to realize something, you will help them through their path rather than intervening. So you can expect the same from the aliens too.
Yeah.
They will give us all the information, knowledge, and tooling for us to get to the right path that we are meant to be. And from that point of view, they will intervene. But the change has to come within humans through realization. And the process has to be at its purest level. Self-realization for everyone, not for one person and he teaching everyone, for everyone from the inside out. Yeah, and you can see God in aliens now, right? That means God exists in everything, not just among humans or everything on earth. It exists everywhere in every aspect that we see.
Yeah. So if you're an alien watching this,
help us.
Help us.
Help us have more people realize the right things to do.
If you're an alien, subscribe.
We love aliens. We love you.
Yeah, I'm really excited for where this whole conversation about aliens leads to. It's going to be super interesting. And I think What's really cool is how these things are opening up different levels of the mind. Something like Aliens a decade ago was so fictional, right? Everybody thought it was definitely not possible. Now, slowly, things are changing, minds are opening, perspectives are shifting. And I think even just the discussions about aliens can also bring a lot of people to move into different perspectives, which is cool.
People are going to become more and more open going forward. I know there will be some that will be scared of a change, but we have to understand change is going to be imminent. The faster we accept it, the faster our growth is going to be.
Okay, amazing. If you guys have questions on aliens,
Yeah,
hit
feel
up.
free to comment.
Yeah, comment, and then your local alien will respond.
Yeah. We're all aliens, by the way.
Hmm.
Yeah. It just depends upon what you think you are.
Yeah. We're made up of stardust.
Yes.
And because they are very smart, they have mastered things that we can learn from. Things like how to run an efficient system, how to tap into resources to build a better world, how to conquer things like attachments, how to use attachments properly. All of these things that we talk about in this podcast, they have figured out on a global scale, which we can learn from.
Probably they might not be talking about these things at all because they're so advanced.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely have gone through the journeys that we are going through. We would recommend everyone to take aliens' perspective and think about life from that point of view. You will realize the importance of every other teaching as well when you do that.
Take the perspective of everything around you. Look at a tree. Try to understand life from the perspective of a tree.
Yeah.
From anyone in your life. Take the perspective of another human.
For some, it is easy. For others, they feel it's very hard.
Yeah.
To zone out of their self and think on these lines. What could help someone?
Yeah.
Do this? Yeah.
Let's do that next.
Yeah.
Yeah.